Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Reality Hour. I am Grace Sweeney. Today we are talking the second live quarterfinal of America's Got Talent, if they even do anymore, because after this week, I'm not convinced they do. But joining us as my co-hosts, I'm going to start with Smiling Adam. How are you, Adam?
You know, sometimes I watch these shows and I think, if I was on it, what would my talent be? And, you know, after these past couple episodes, I could think of a couple of things. Because
better than dressing up like a bird.
I could be a Seth word. I could, maybe if there was like a hula hoop, I could hold on to it as they lift me up off into the air for like 4 or 5 seconds.
And I'm also joined by Eric, who is not smiling. How are you, Eric?
I'm not smiling because I just realized that I wouldn't even need a talent to go on America's Got Talent.
I would just a sob story.
All I would need is a sob story, and I could, and not only could I go on America's Got Talent, I could make it to the final and possibly win. But we'll get there. I wrote in the tweet promoting this episode of Reality Hour that we're going to talk about the okay, the bad, and the ugly, because I don't think anyone this week was any really good. So, on that depressing note, let's get started, shall we?
Okay. From what I heard, though, week 3 is where the talent is.
Oh, 100%. What they did is they put all of the good acts into week 3, and then weeks 1 and 2 just kind of sucked. So.
Okay. All right. So we had 12 more acts perform. 7 of them made it through. 5 of them got cut. Y'all know the drill by now. So first up, we have T3, the TikTok Tenors. They are a vocal trio. They sang Good For You by Olivia Rodrigo. Thoughts?
My thought was they got really great voices, and this was the worst possible song choice that I could have thought of for them.
I agree 100%. Like, I don't know if they were just trying too hard to be current. Like, I accuse a lot of people of.
They were 100% forced into this song. This was not their choice. And if it was their choice, then they should have gone home.
Yeah.
They did go home, but Adam, go ahead.
I agree. I mean, I wrote, just for me, solid, wrong song. And that's really kind of my thoughts. I'm doing, how I'm watching the show this season is I'm literally just watching the performance. I don't read the reviews. I don't watch the before, the intro package, the judges. I just listen to the performance or watch the performance if it's not singing. Most of them aren't singing. But solid voice, wrong song.
Yeah, like they auditioned with Into the Unknown, and then this time they picked a song that has a lot of very short, choppy words, so you can't really showcase vocal ability. That was my issue. And I kind of figured if they had made it through this round, they would be doomed going up against a similar act, which is pretty much what happened.
Yeah, I would have given them a C, I think, honestly. Or is that too generous?
C+ for me, honestly. I mean, the thing is, they are undeniably talented, but this was in no universe could the song choice have worked for them. This is like a Paramore type pop punk song thing, and it's not for people who have these kind of voices at all. It makes no sense, and it made no sense. And I really liked their audition, and I did too. I was really disappointed by this. So.
Yeah, they ended up losing the judges' save. I'm not mad at anybody.
How'd they even get there?
They were either 6th, 7th, or 8th in the votes. And they didn't get
the answer.
All right, moving on to Doktuk Crew. They are a dance act. They are from South Korea. I don't know if it's just because I've seen diversity in other better dance acts, but I feel like nobody can hold a candle to them anymore.
I feel like the problem with this is that they were good, but they weren't special. And that I could talk about the other dance actors the same way.
Exactly.
We've seen so many dance acts on the shows that if you're just doing a regular dance act performance, you either have to be absolutely mind-bendingly perfect and spectacular and high difficulty, or you have to tell a story of some kind. You can't just do what they did and expect that people will get excited about it, because we've seen this too many times. So
This is going to sound totally strange. Adam, I'll let you talk in a second. But there was a horse galloping on the screen behind them. At one point, I found myself paying more attention to that than I was to them.
Okay. That is better.
Adam, go.
I don't know about you, but I was weirdly seeing like one or two Konichi moves. I don't know if either of you noticed it, but I was like,
Konichi's South Korean too, isn't he?
yeah, but no, but like it was the dance, like they were doing similar moves that he had done in his act. And honestly, for me, I wrote solid, generic, forgettable.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And that is why they were cut. Most likely. All right. Next up, we have this week's joke act, Johnny Showcase. Adam is already smiling.
I will say
it's no Seth word.
That's the best name for an act that I've ever seen. I will say that. But
yeah, they performed an original song called The Octopus. What the hell was this? Adam, I'll let you start since joke acts are your territory.
You know, I like joke acts, but this was like your strange family member getting up at like a party and starting to sing, and you're kind of like a little bit that kind of an energy. And I like joke acts, but this was not my cup of tea. This was just awkward.
So you were with Howie and Simon on this one?
I was, weirdly as that might be.
So I have a friend from high school who actually really liked this performance. I don't understand that, but he did. Usually it's like a classic funk song, and I'm like, yeah, sure, but did you listen to the lyrics?
I didn't understand a word of it. So.
I didn't need. Well, never did I. I could understand what they were saying, but it still didn't make any sense. I mean, horrendously stupid song in my opinion. And
yeah, I mean, it's called. How can a song about an octopus be any good at all?
Maybe they should have done a mashup with the horse people from beforehand, and then like a horse song. You know, maybe they could like team up together.
I was thinking more like a Beatles Yellow Submarine mashup, maybe.
I was thinking maybe him and the Crumble Lady, but that was just like too funny.
Oh, you see, but she was actually funny because she was so bad that she was actually funny. The problem with this was that the lyrics were joke act bad, but the performance itself wasn't bad enough to actually be funny.
Exactly. It's just kind of that awkward no man's land where you're kind of just looking at them awkwardly going, not really sure what to say now.
Heidi liked it.
Heidi has questionable taste in comedy. So
yeah, I don't know what was in that Sonic cup of hers this week. Must have been whatever Johnny Showcase was drinking, but
he was drinking the horse lemonade or something.
Oh, don't even go there.
I hope it's lemonade. Anyway, let's talk about Tori, shall we?
All right, Torivagasi, a singer. She sang "Heart of Stone" from 6. I love this song.
What did you think of Tori?
I thought she sang it really well. For me, it was a little bit paint by numbers, like very, very similar to the original. But to be fair, like it's a song from a musical that hasn't opened yet because reasons. And she did deliver it very nicely. I was a little surprised she was even up for the save because I looked on YouTube and she was pulling cow's tail in views. But not only was she up for the save, but she got it. And she deserved to make it through. I would have put her in the top 5 this week, but whatever.
For me, there's nothing objectionable about this performance for me.
No, not at all.
But there's nothing truly stellar about it either. She's got a good voice, but I could think of at least I'm going to name them. I think Jimmy Herod from last week is miles better than her. Mm-hmm. And I think what's her face? Girl who was on The Voice. Brooke Simpson is also miles better than her. So, and I feel like she might have made it through this round, but she's gonna be gone our next time. Because,
I think she's doomed next round.
Oh, she's 100% doomed. Even if she wasn't up for the save, she made it to the top 5. She would have been doomed next round because she's just. At this point, she's not bad, but she's just outclassed by several of the other singers. So,
all right, Adam.
It was all right. basically my thought. I mean, I watched it. Like, I'm just watching the performances, and it's okay.
I think maybe the song choice is a little bit of a mistake because, like I said, 6 hasn't even opened on Broadway yet. It was supposed to open March 12th, 2020, but then other things happened that same day, and nothing was open after that. But still, like, I know the music is getting a lot of press, and it deserves it because the cast album is fantastic for 6. You guys need to listen to it.
Who's it by? Who made it?
It's a Broadway musical. It's coming out in the fall. It's opening in the fall. It's about Henry VIII's ex-wives. They each get their own song. And this is Jane Seymour's song.
I gotcha. Okay.
All right, moving on to the other dance act, Shufflution. Basically what Eric said. Basically everything I said about the other act, just no horses.
I'm not even going to comment on the act itself because there's nothing to comment on. It's just a typical generic dance act. I'm going to comment on Simon's comment where he loved the part where one of them fell.
I didn't even notice that.
Apparently, he said he enjoyed. Apparently, when someone pointed out one of them fell, Simon said that was the best part of the performance. I'm like, wow, that's mean Simon back. And I'm like, but like, if he actually, I miss Simon being honest, but this was to the wrong act and not honest across the board and mean. So, God, I used to love Simon, but he's really just starting to piss me off now.
Yeah, he does that.
Wait. Hold on.
I know, Adam.
Just now.
No.
It took us to getting to Shufflution for Eric to be annoyed with
No,
Simon.
X Factor Celebrity was the nail in the coffin for me, but
I would say a lot earlier. Honestly.
I know for you a lot earlier. For me, X Factor Celebrity was the nail in the coffin. Anyway,
what was the final nail in the coffin for Howie?
Howie was never a good judge. So
He doesn't even have a coffin to put a nail in.
Anywho,
Shufflution, I thought they were okay. Like I said, I don't know. It's almost like America's Got Talent has ruined dance acts for me. Like, because if I was to see these people, like I would in real life, like not in the context of the show, I'd be pretty impressed.
yeah.
It's just because I've seen so many of these people that it's just easy to like not as good.
Like I said it before, like diversity set the bar like way up here. And I don't think there's ever been a dance act that even comes close to them on any of these shows that I've seen.
I thought Twist and Pulse were pretty good on Champions, but anyway.
All right, moving on to Aiden Bryant. He is an aerialist. He is 16 years old. He's doing a silk routine. I thought it was very, very nicely done. At one point, the turns were making me dizzy with all those turns. He definitely deserved to make it through.
100%.
I don't really have too much to say about him, honestly, but I did like him. So,
first of all, obviously talented. Yes. Obviously deserves to make it through. I'm a little bored by this type of act. That's just my preference thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna be bored with him by next week.
But the thing is, I mean, I can't object to making it through, but I would never pay to see this type of act in the show personally. But I know people might because Circus du Soleil's a thing. So,
yes,
I think the gold standard of this kind of act, like the highest, the peak of where we've ever hit, was that lady who did like the art,
aerial animation. Yeah,
I think anything else without it, or it just pales in comparison.
Yes.
Like that is the gold standard. And Aiden, he's good. He's solid.
Yeah, he didn't really bring anything different than we've seen to aerial acts, but
exactly. That's what I was going to say. It's just we've seen similar things before, and we've seen it still. We've seen it done better.
But that he's only 16, to be fair, too.
He is 16.
That being said, I think he's top 2 of the night for me.
Yeah,
I would have put him through this week. I won't be surprised if he makes the finale. I don't even think he'll make the top 5, but Alan Silva made the top 5 last year, so.
Did he?
He was 5th.
Oh, he did. I forgot.
I could see him cut just before the finale or bottom 5 of the finale.
I can see him like being up for the save and then like not getting it over someone that doesn't deserve it as much as he does.
Yeah, but still talented dude. I just think
Mm-hmm.
it's like not playing with a full deck, this kind of act, because there's not, unless you bring something entirely new to the table, it's just going to come across as generic or similar to what we've seen before.
Okay.
But like, I'm hoping, like, what can he do different is the thing.
Art behind him, pretty much. That's about it.
Maybe. All right, moving on to something else we've seen 100 times. Northwell Nurse Choir. They are this season's choir. They were Howie's, I believe, golden buzzer.
Yep.
There's always one.
They were.
They sang You Will Be Found from Dear Evan Hansen, another musical I'm seeing soon. Well, not soon. I'm seeing it next year.
The movie. I'm going to go see the movie.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to end up, like, I wanted to see the musical before I saw the movie because I was supposed to see it last year, but then things happened. So I'm probably going to end up breaking down and watching the movie anyway. I love this song. I love choirs, but I was kind of bored.
Honestly, I used to think this was my favorite song from Dear Evan Hansen, and then I heard Sincerely Me, and it was like, kicked right off for the number one spot. But yeah, this song, this is what I've said before. America's Got Talent is the show you watch one season and then you never watch it again, because I've seen it before and I've seen it better.
I was going to say Luke Islam did do it better.
I was like speaking in the context of like choirs, you know.
Oh yeah, there have been better choirs too, but they're nurses and we're still in a pandemic, so that wins them votes just for that.
Yep. This act, as I wrote in my predictions list, is 100% story and like. Actually, no. I'm gonna be generous. I'm gonna say 80% story and 20% talent, because they're not terrible. They're not
No, they're not.
They're not like actively hurting my ears, but they're also far from the best choir I've ever seen on the show.
Oh yeah.
And not even close. And I'm just, God, it's just disappointing.
Really, Adam? You're gonna go there?
Who's up next?
One thing I want to say about the choir, though, why did they have the sunflowers? Like, that made no sense. It's Dear Evan Hansen. Get some trees.
Yes, he references them. I've never seen Dear Evan Hansen. I just know what's in the song. So
that's how he broke his hand. He fell down climbing a tree.
Huh.
All right. Anyway, Positive Impact Movement. They are acrobatic group. They are 3 or 4 very, very hot dudes. This for me was a mess. Like, I kept comparing.
The entire act.
Are you laughing at me?
People without their shirts off. That's the act. It's AGT's
Which
version.
Which is a good thing sometimes.
It's AGT's version of selling PG inappropriate content. It's like that's what it is. Like that's the whole point of it.
I kind of feel like I had to compare them to Aiden, which I know is like a little bit unfair. Aiden was just simplistic and beautiful.
Aiden had an act.
This was just too much, and it was really messy. And
this was just an excuse for people to take their shirts off.
And why is that a bad thing? They have really nice bodies.
Because it's America's Got Talent, and they should have actually talent. Like, I gotta do
all right,
that,
Eric, talk.
No, that sign says it all. Adam's right. That's what this act is.
This is a very, very Twilight-Zone-A podcast.
But yeah, they were the second act of the night that got buzzed.
Rightfully so. I would have buzzed them. I would have said, "What is the act here? Like, what are we trying to do?"
Jumping and throwing basketballs and missing.
But any like, you know what? I can't write.
All right. Should we just move on? Should we just move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
All right. Peter Antonio. He is a mentalist. Blindfoldedly saying what is in cans of food. There was some gross British food. And the paper had the whole trick. We've seen it all 1,000 times. He made it.
I could talk about how most of it was done, or ways that most of it could have been done. There are devices that can tell that. I mean, clearly, there's a way for him to know which cans have been taken off the shelf, and someone backstage can tell him in his earpiece or through a thumper or lots of other technologies. There's a printer somehow inside the can, or there's a printer somewhere near the can, and he is able to put. Yeah, it's so easy to figure out. So that there's so many different ways the trick could have been accomplished that I'm not impressed by it at all. This is not the type of magic that impresses me.
Mm-hmm. Adam?
Why is it? Okay, here we go. Why is it that magicians get 8 minutes for their performances and comedians get like 3?
Because America's Got Talent hates talent, I guess.
What? Look, I'm all for contestants having more time, but it's not fair for a magician to have this much time and a comedian not to. Like, this is just...
Correct. Particularly because, like, and it's not even consistent. Like, Shin Lim, I could have seen more of him. He was really good. But they only gave him, like, 3 minutes on average.
I think each act should have unique times for it, and you should have as much as you want to do during that time. And I think it's...
Depends on the act. We don't need to see 8 minutes of Seth Word.
No, well, that would be a unique case, but I would say, like, each singer should have 3 minutes for a performance. Each dance act, however long you need for the dance act. Magician, you could put it like 5 minutes. Comedy, 6 minutes. Like just...
I think 5 minutes as well for comedy. But
I would say...
At least 5, not 3 minutes, but...
Maybe a range.
Sure, fine.
But I'm just saying, like, I don't like when I see magicians getting so much time and other acts not. Because the original pitch, like, I don't know if things have changed recently, was Howie Mandel always used to say, you get 90 seconds. This dude got a whole lot more than 90 seconds. And
You got 8 minutes.
And it wasn't even...
I started, like, checking out halfway through because I knew exactly how it was going to go.
It was dragging. I don't know if you felt the same way, but I was, like, looking at my watch that I'm not wearing, like...
Yep. I was bored.
Do you think he's going to make it through next round?
Nope.
All right. He did make it through this round, though.
Yeah.
I can't say I was too surprised about that.
I'm not surprised, but...
All right. Next up, we have Korean Soul. They're a boy band from South Korea. They're BTS -3.
And they don't want to miss a thing.
Killer freaking asteroids.
Yay. We knew... I knew we would... There's no way that when we decided we were covering the show that there wasn't going to be an asteroid song at some point.
I thought for sure they would do a BTS song.
The season.
But honestly, I don't even think they sang it that well. But to be fair, like, this is one of those songs where every time somebody sings it, the only thing I can think is how much I hate it.
Yeah.
But even if I weren't
sounded pretty good on it. I thought they sounded pretty good on it, but I didn't care because it's the asteroid song. So
can I ask you a question, both of you? Like, this is just dumb question. I know it's the asteroid song. Do you guys know what movie or why it's called the asteroid song?
It's from Armageddon.
There you go. Never mind. Disregard.
that title kind of explains it to you, doesn't it?
I used to watch that. I remember watching that movie as a kid with my dad. Like, I thought it was a good movie. Have you guys ever seen the movie?
Nope.
No.
Pretty good movie. I mean,
okay.
Pretty intense.
Honestly, this felt like X Factor audition level to me rather than AGT live show.
Well, depending on which X Factor audition we're talking about, that could be the same thing. But anyway.
And they ended up getting the judges / deadlock save. The ladies voted to save T3. The guys voted to save Korean Soul. I think Simon sees, like, I think when they auditioned Simon, like, I could see the dollar signs lighting up in Simon's eyes.
Well, I don't think at this point Simon sees dollar signs in any. If you don't sail through the next round, Simon immediately gives up on you.
Yeah, and, like, I know there's a K-pop craze going on right now. I personally don't get it.
I will also add that Simon doesn't have a record label anymore, so he does not see dollar signs with him or any music.
That is true. That is true. But could he possibly help them get a record label?
That implies that Simon has any investment in this show anymore.
Adam, talk about the performance.
I tuned out as soon as they started singing. I just started looking out the window, just evaluating.
Were you waiting for an asteroid?
Like, a lot of stars up there.
You were waiting for an asteroid, weren't you?
Look, I'm at this point where if I hear anyone start singing this against all odds, I'm just like my head just zones out and it tries to find a happy place.
Okay.
All right. Now, speaking of a happy place, let's talk about a comedian next, shall we? Josh Blue.
I have a lot of thoughts on this one, actually.
Oh, good. Okay, Josh Blue. He is a comedian. He also won Last Comic Standing, so he's a total plant. He has cerebral palsy, and that was a big part of what his sets were. I actually liked a comedian. I didn't full on laugh, but I did smile. That joke he made about Simon riding the bike was like, yes.
Yes.
And he's going to knock Gina out next week.
I hope so. I mean, this was much better for this audition. However, still not my favorite, and still not nearly as funny as Ryan Niemöller was on the show. Not even close. I did vote for him anyway, mostly because he literally took two of the jokes. I mean, the line about the disability community being the only community that anyone can join anytime. That's literally text that's on Respectability, my work's website. And the larger minority of the country, that's also on our website. He took what we write on our website as information about people with disabilities and put it into his comedy routine. And that's good, I guess. I mean, he's educating people, so that's good.
I thought he was the best act of the night, honestly. Of what I saw, I thought he was the best.
I mean, he was, but
he got me to laugh, and
I also in my top 5. I like other acts better.
It weirdly made me think, because he's like, the disabled community is a community, it's the largest community. Anyone could be a part of it, and anyone could join it at any time. And it just was like, I was like, huh, it's a good point.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. It's on our website.
I was like,
all the time.
I don't know. I was just thinking about it. I was like,
yeah,
he's making really good points. I
wish he was funnier. I mean, I know he's capable of better, because I have friends in the community that really love him, and I really want to love this act. Mm-hmm. And this is much better than audition was, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but it's still not getting me to laugh out loud like Ryan Niemöller was consistently for an hour-long set on Sunday night he was. And I want to get there with Josh. I really do, but.
Before we move on, since Eric, you've been watching more of the stories, are they giving him the Cody Lee treatment, or are they giving him more of the Ryan Niemöller treatment, or the treatment?
Ryan Niemöller, if I had to guess. I don't watch it, but I would guess Ryan Niemöller.
You are correct. Okay. I mean, they're not perfect, but
they're never going to be.
Wait. Oh, wait. No. The first audition was kind of rough, actually. But he literally said it in his first audition, I don't want to be called an inspiration or something like that. And then guess what the judges fucking call him. So yeah, there we go.
The judges.
Yeah, it's the thing that annoys me is that Simon. I'm getting convinced that Simon is losing his hearing. I am.
He's in his 60s now. It's entirely possible.
Yes, and I have multiple reasons for that. It's not just a disability slam. It's literally I think he's genuinely losing his hearing, and I say that because of what we're going to talk about with the next act, but also he was there the entire time when Lost Voice guy was on the show talking about how he doesn't want to be called an inspiration, and how
nobody ever does. Claudia Conway didn't want to be a publicity stunt.
Of course, no one wants that.
So she says.
You don't want to be tokenized. You want to be there for your talent, and you want to be admired for your talent. And so Simon hears all this, and then the next year, and Lost Voice guy wins Britain's Got Talent with Simon sitting there and hearing everything that he's saying in his act, I think. And then the next year, Cody Lee happens, and then all that goes flying out the window. And so
I feel like he just after the season happens, he just forgets it ever happened.
He's either got memory loss or he's got hearing issues. I think it's a little bit of both.
It was kind of the same thing when X Factor happened. Is people were doing stuff that they did on Idol for years, but he also, I know season 9, he was asleep the whole time.
Yes, that's fair. I was asleep during season 9 as well.
True. But not because you had already moved on to a different show. Because it was boring as hell.
Yes. Anyway, let's talk about Victory Brinker, shall we?
Victory Brinker. She is a 9-year-old opera singer. She was the collective everyone golden buzzer because that's apparently a thing. AGT likes to break its own rules. She's saying.
So about that, I'm gonna interrupt for a second.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Go ahead.
I thought that would have made sense if they had only 6 weeks of auditions, so they could have one golden buzzer every week. And then they had 2 more weeks of auditions after. I'm like, what the fuck was the point of this then?
Simon Cowell likes to create his own rules to benefit himself.
But I mean, you're right, but I just don't care. Anyway.
I was going to say, this is the man who stole Howie's golden buzzer on AGT Champions to put through Dancing Stormtroopers.
Yes.
Anyway, Victory sang Costa Diva. First off, sneakers with a dress, strike 1. I understand she's only 9 years old.
She's 9. I'm not going to critique her out. That wasn't her choice.
I was going to say, like, I actually found a Reddit thread where people were, like, not enjoying her. I'm kind of with them. Like, I understand she's 9 years old and she has a lot to go through. And, like, people forget that when Jackie Ivanka was on the show, she was only 10 and her technique was horrible. It's a lot better now. But, like, her sound was not, like, I'm a classically trained singer, so I can go on all night, but I'm not going to. She really wasn't supporting her sound very well. Her vibrato was really shaky from the get-go. The high note at the end was pretty good, but definitely a lot of work to be desired. Not surprised at all that she made it through. Somebody on Reddit called her the weakest kid opera singer they've ever seen on this show.
I'm not gonna go that far. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna leave it at I'm not. It has nothing to do with her, honestly. My problem with it. My problem with it is that she's also like I don't know. I've stopped counting how many kid opera singers we've seen on the show because there's one every damn year. Yes. And so even if it is technically impressive that a kid could do that, I'm numb to it at this point because we see one every damn year.
And we've seen better.
I don't even care if we've seen better. We've seen similar. We've seen the same thing every year, and at that point, after a certain point, you just get like, okay, I get it, but I'm just like I'm numb to it at this point, and it's just annoying because I really want to be impressed by this type of thing, but I can't be because I've seen it too damn many times.
One and done is what AGT is, the kind of show it is. Victory is good.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, I've seen this act so many times. I mean, it's just the same thing. It's just repackaged. And honestly, of the repackaging of this kind of singer, she's not as good as the previous one, which sucks because she's still good. And, out of the context of the show, I would think like, yeah, she's a really good singer, but having to compare her in the AGT lens, I'm just left thinking,
And Simon said she's going to win, which
she's not.
Well, look, someone has to win.
I don't even think she's going to make the final.
What?
I don't even think she's going to make the final at this point.
Oh, she is. But so, Adam, next week you'll see the 2 acts that I think have a chance at winning.
But like, how far has this archetype gone in the past? Like I always think either just miss out on finale or bottom 5. Right?
Jackie Ivanko came in second.
Jackie Ivanko is different time, like modern versions.
Modern versions usually the finale is first and make it top bottom 5.
Mm-hmm.
So we will see.
But yeah, like people are saying, she doesn't hold a candle to Jackie Ivanko, which she doesn't. Especially not Jackie Ivanko now, but Jackie Ivanko now is twice her age. So it's not really a fair comparison.
It's not fair at all. I mean, the thing is,
when she was on the show, she was 10, so there's that.
She is 9.
Exactly.
It's amazing that she's doing it at 9.
Like 9-year-old Grace probably would have thrown up on the stage.
Yes, 9-year-old Eric wouldn't have gone on the stage. You had to push me on the stage, and even then I would have walked right back off.
You just would have walked to the other side.
God.
That's
it's incredible that she's 9 and she's doing
golden buzzer.
Having said that, I just wish I hadn't seen it before so I could be impressed by it.
I'm sure. I feel like someone we need to have on these podcasts is someone who's like never watched an episode of America's Got Talent before. Like just some Joe Schmo we drag off the street and are like, we put them in front of the TV, watch this episode, and they might be like super impressed.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, so yeah, that's the show. The top 5 were moving on were Aiden, Acquire, Peter, Josh, and Victory. Tori was the instant save. Korean Soul got the judges save / the public vote deadlock save. T3 lost it. Dope Took Crew, Shufflution, and Positive Impact Movement are also gone.
Yep.
Hopefully next week's better.
Yeah, well,
next week will be better.
Next week we've got, first off, we have guest performances from Shin Lim and Lindsay Sterling. So that's 2 for 2.
I like both of those people.
Yes.
All right, so we have Anika, Brooke Simpson, Chap Kids, Keith Apicary, Kleck Entos, Leah Kyle,
yes,
Michael Winslow, Real Chris, the Curtis family C Notes.
So that's the guy from Spaceballs.
Yes,
what was that?
Nothing.
Michael Winslow, yes, he is the guy from. He is very he is the plantiest plant that has ever been on the show.
Was he the guy when they were combing the desert with like a literal comb? Like they were going.
He's from Police Academy movies. The sound effect guy.
Oh no!
Yeah, he has a Wikipedia page. But so does Kleck, so does Brooke, and so does Leah. Anyway, so yeah, Michael Winslow, Real Chris, the Curtis family C Notes, Unicircle Flow, and the World Taekwondo demo team, and a wild card that we get.
World Taekwondo demo team are gonna. I'm calling it now. World Taekwondo demo team. Have this in the bag.
Yeah, and there's also a wild card. Which do we get a say in this, or
we did?
I haven't seen anything about it.
We did actually have a say in it because it was for 5 acts were performed online only, and we got to vote on them.
Who did you guys vote for?
I didn't watch or vote on that.
I didn't even see who was up for it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter because I didn't watch the auditions anyway.
Mm-hmm. No one I really liked was up for a wild card, so I didn't care.
Of course not. And watch, because they're going to have a semifinal wild card since there's going to be 21, right?
100%, yep.
Okay, can we just all agree that if it's Seth Word, Adam has to wear a peacock costume that week?
It's not going to be Seth Word.
It's always like a fodder act, so maybe it will be Seth Word.
It will not be Seth Word.
It's going to be like somebody who was like pure cannon fodder this round, though.
Oh, 100%.
Like it always is.
Yes.
All right. Any final thoughts on the episode besides that we hope next week is better?
Next week will be better.
All right.
I'm still thinking of that image of Eric being forced onto the stage and just walking to the other side.
Okay.
How would you have dealt with it when you were 9, Adam?
I would have started doing the sprinkler.
No, you would not have. Anyway.
All right. Before we all get crazy,
you.
should we close the show?
I would put on like the oh my god, Paul Zerden mouth thing and just hope for the best.
Okay. Anyway.
Can you imagine if Howie was the one controlling me?
No. I don't want to. This podcast is going off for rails. I'm tired. I'm done. Let's just stop this.
Let's close it out. I'm Grace Sweeney. You can find me on Twitter at reality2_Grace. I have to mirror correctly. Dancing with the Stars starts a month from tomorrow, September 20th. I have heard no news, only rumors, but Adam and I should be back for it. So stay tuned. Season
Team
30.
Hot Mess shall rise.
Team 3-peat. We got this. Adam, where can we find you in the world?
You can find me staring into the sky, fearful of asteroids, honestly. Otherwise, you could find me on Twitter at Adam Soapbox. Yeah, and that's where you can find me. Also, maybe if not looking at the stars, maybe looking in like models for a really good helmet, just in case.
You really think a helmet's going to protect you from a killer asteroid?
It'd be like a hard hat, like just, maybe not one of the big ones, but maybe one of the smaller ones.
I was going to say, ask the dinosaurs.
Okay.
Eric, where are you found?
I am everywhere that you see in the links below this video.
Okay.
I'm just going to speed up and just say that.
You don't want to miss a thing. That joke doesn't work, but I'm still going to use it.
I think we're done here. So, bye, everybody.
Thanks for watching. Good night. We'll see you next week.